adjustments here. Make sure everything's plugged in. It looks like we're good to go here. Alright, I'll grab my pointer. Here we are at October 29th, 2023. And we had an event over here on the side. And wait until you see what's going on in here. First, I'm going to let the loop play at the regular speed here. Let me see if I can pull this in just a bit more, brighten it up for you. Doesn't matter, we're going to be going through this here. This time, it's not going to be a frame by frame because this event is unfolding really slow. And if you speed it up, you can see it a lot clearer. So I'm hoping that the live stream will be able to pick this up when I speed this up. All right, so what's going on here first is what I want to point out here is you see this one circulation coming out over the top and twisting this way, then you see another circulation twisting the other way. Now wait until we speed this up, it'll make it a little more pronounced. All right, can you see that twisting effect right there? One comes out on the top rotating this way and then one on the bottom rotating the other way. It's kind of hard. You can kind of make it out. Our round object is right here. And when I speed it up, you'll see it even better. So here we go. And let's just zoom in to this part of the screen here. Let's see if this is picking it up. All right, our object comes out and the first part goes over the top of it, but then as it pulls out, another CME comes out and wraps around the bottom side of it. You can see our round object right there. I'll just kind of let that play a few times and you can see it. You can see the back side of it right there, and then the front side of it over here, and you can see these CMEs are kind of pushing it and nudging it further and further out. And I've never seen a CME change directions, go one way and then flip around and twist the other way. And it's because this object right here, the flow is going over the top part of it at first, when it first comes out. Then as it comes out, another CME comes out and wraps around the bottom part, twisting around the bottom this way. So one goes over the top this way, then the second CME comes around the bottom. And it paints our round object. That's our round object right there that's causing these CMEs to twist and change direction like that. Now hopefully this is picking it up on the higher speed here. Let me right about there is good. All right, it's hard to see. It's kind of ghostly, but it's there. It's a round object, comes out, and it's right there moving out. Alrighty, so that's today's event. All right, and that's kind of a weird one. I've never seen anything change direction like that. And how it wraps around over the top, and then another one wraps around the bottom of it. Hang on. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. I don't know if my camera's picking this up good enough for you guys, so let's do it like that. Oh, okay, good. You guys can see it now. I don't think the object itself is spinning. I think the CMEs that are coming out, one's swirling over the top part, and then another one comes out and swirls around the bottom part of it. But there's definitely an object there causing the change of direction in these CMEs. And in this one, the flow asymmetries and the flow patterns, give it away. This one's, it's really hard to see, but the flow patterns are what give it away, especially the changing of direction. That was like God blatantly going, hey, look at this. Because that is, I've never seen a CME before. Okay, so that was today. All right, and if we try to go frame by frame, you really don't see it. In this one, it's the motion sped up. That yeah, it is kind of mesmerizing. It's the motion sped up that shows our slow motion event, kind of sped up in more of a real time. All right, so let's get out of here. Hi, Annabelle. Good to see you here. All right, so there we go. That was today, the 29th. Now, I wanted to do a report last night, and I had everything, all the instrumentation all set up, ready to go. And, well, let's just say something came up and took me out. So, but what we're going to do is go back a day because if you guys saw the thumbnail and it wasn't too hard to see, there's something going on in this CME right here. Okay. And this is yesterday's, the 28th. Okay. So, but, so we had a CME yesterday, pretty good sized one. Do you see the secondary object right here? Watch after the main CME moves out. You'll see this secondary object with its own little bow shock, V-shaped bow shock on it here. And we'll pause on that one right there. Alright, cute little guy right here. You can see the V-shaped bow shock with the little round object in the middle there. Let's just, there's a better shot of it right there. In fact, we'll go zoom in on this one real quick. And then we'll get to the wow stuff, alright? Yeah, lots going on. But here you can clearly see a round object with a V-shaped bow shock on the front of it. No hiding that thing, okay? It's right there. Now, let's get into the weird stuff that showed up on the CME. Okay, let's back up a few frames to frame 77. Yeah, frame 77, and then we're going to zoom back in over here, in and out, back and forth. Oh, we need to do it more. Okay. Oh, here, we'll just put it in the middle and do this a little bit. You guys see a face there? Two eyes, the nose, the mouth, the beard. It's got a hood on. You know, we'll even zoom in just a tad bit more, I think, right about. Oh, that's as much as I can. Alright, now we'll do some tinting. Well, probably right there in the middle is best. You can see the eyes, the nose, mouth, the chin, and beard. And a little hood going over his face right there. Okay. And then this object that's projecting this face did a bunch of faces. And we're going to back up and I'm going to show you some of the other faces that came out of this event. This one being probably the most dominant of them and easy to see. I gotta zoom back out to use the instrument. Where's the previous button? Right there. So let's go boom, boom. Think. Alright, yeah, let's just go all the way back to the very first face on this thing. Think. That's the next frame. Sorry, I'm going up and down. I'm trying to find the first frame with the face on it. Okay. And I'll zoom in a little more. Whoa, come back. Sorry, all the bouncing around. All right, here's our round object right here, and it appears to have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth on it already. Get this thing out of the way. The light out of the way. All right, if you come over to the instrument and look at it without me having to do the camera thing like this, you can see it a lot clearer. Okay, so there's the first face that it makes. Then here's the second face that it makes. You may got the two eyes, the nose down the middle appears to have horns or something on this one this time. Can you see that? Okay, then it makes another face in the next frame. Can you see this one? The eyes, the nose. It's kind of looking at a different angle now. Mouth, other ears or horns or something on it. You can even see the nostrils in the nose. That's just spooky. You know, when it's a perfect face and you can see nostrils and everything. Kind of looks like a cat, maybe. Then, let's see, there's another face that it's kind of making. Right there. There we go. Kind of looks like a cat with the body coming back this way. And the tail. I don't know. Let's go back to that previous frame real quick. Because that one just looks animalistic or something right there. Almost like it is like a cat, like a puma or something with spots on it or something. I don't know. But come over here and look at this instrument, because I'm not making this up. This is NASA's instrument. This is the data that they're giving us, okay? You can clearly see the eye right here on this one. It's there. That face is there. If any of you are artists, if you ever tried to draw a face, it's hard to draw a face. The proportions have to be just right. The odds of getting the eyes just right, proportional to the nose, proportional to the mouth with the ears and everything, the odds of getting all that together just right are billions to one. So these faces aren't just a mistake. These are being projected for real. Just like the stuff that's in the clouds that I showed you. Alright, that one not so much of a face on this one. Let's go 76. Not much, well, kind of there on that one. But then we go to 77. That's when it clearly turns into this face right here. Okay? There's no denying this face. It's not just a coincidence. It's a real face. It's really there. When you look at the screen, you can see it. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. There you go. Now you can see it a little better. And this came off the sun yesterday. Okay. We'll be arriving, what? Let's see, this was the 28th, so it'll be arriving on the 31st. Happy Halloween. Guess who's showing up? Look at this. Wow. The darker, the more features. More like, here, let's go like this just a tad bit. There we go. Now you can see that it's a face. It has shadows in the eye sockets. It's there. I mean, when you look at the satellite image on the screen, just watching it as, you know, when you go to the instrument, you're going to see it and go, oh, wow, that's pretty defined. Okay, so there's your activity on the sun lately, okay? Then let's come over here to our solar report. Whoops, what happened to that? There it is. Okay, and back this thing out a little bit. All kinds of adjustments here. We'll zoom in just a tad bit so you guys can see a little bit closer. There we go. All right, you can see here's today. Here's our event. Here's the first couple pops, the twist, and then the other pops from the other, you know, the change in direction there. So the first three are the first little 3 CMEs that kind of, you know, squirted out, that changed direction, and then here's the other ones, okay? And you can see that we're creeping along still below the seafloor here a little bit. Until we have activity that pops us up into the C-class range, we're below the seafloor. All right, we're having a little absorption event right now, okay? Our X-flare potential is 1%, sorry. And the way the sun has been acting lately and being very weak, even when we have inbound objects, you know, they're pretty big. Those are huge explosions coming off the sun, but they're not even in M class. All right, so X flares might be a thing of the past because the sun's so weak. I don't know, we'll see, but let me zoom back out. It's just easier. One more. All right, so over here at the KP index, you see these 2 yellow stripes. We had a little crack in the magnetosphere and some activity that was, you know, hitting our way, made it through a little bit. So we had a couple little spikes on the KP index here. Right now, whoops, come on. Well, then just open it then. Our auroras aren't all that strong. They were a little earlier when I was looking at this, but right now they're kind of weakening. So the absorption, you know, the event that hit us has been directed to the poles. The poles delivered to the core and everything, but it has settled down now a little bit. One sunspot. This one right here, this 3474. Be careful of that. I know about these numbers. It's beta gamma, so let's just pray it doesn't go too much further to beta gamma delta. Open up the tracker here. You can see that they're showing the CME going away from the Earth, going this direction. Okay. Well, maybe you can't see. Why is everything so dark in this camera today? This. All right. Well. So, whoops, you can see our CME heading away. Not much to look at there. All right. Let's back out of this. There's our KP index, our couple little blasts that kind of made it through. Okay, over to the Schumann resonance here. Is this zoomed in? I think so. We'll do a little bit of razzle-dazzle here. Okay, you can see that our main line right here is just pumping right along. You can see these darker areas right here, and right here. This is where the field got weak. You can see our line got a little weak right here during this little shadow event. You can see it got a little weak in this area during this dark event right here. So the core and the shell are really close to each other, scraping along. You can see this little scraping event right here. And then it goes down. It weakens. It didn't go down, but it weakened a lot right there. Comes back to life a little bit, and currently at this moment we're pumping along pretty good. All right. I would take the camera out, but there's not much really to see. Yeah, it picked it up pretty much, so you guys could see it there. Okay. Little scraping event over here too. That was yesterday. Alrighty, so let's move on to the earthquakes, shall we? Oops, too zoomed in. Let's start over. Oh, that's what's going on. Let me change this to the satellite real quick. There we go. And alright, sorry, trying to make some adjustments here so you guys can see a little bit better here. Gotta make it sure you guys can see too, right? Alright, so there was no like deep earthquake here today, but yesterday's activity here has caused all this stuff to enter the system. Starting down here below, we have this 5.0 at a depth of 35 here off the Kermadec Islands. All right, just a little mouse fart down there, 3.8. But as we go up into the system, it's kind of, there's some other ones right here that seem to have dropped off the map because of new activity. But we had some mid-range 4 to 5 in here earlier. It's kind of gone now. So let's go over to here. Come on, pull this up. So here's our 4.5 energy continuing on through the system right here with a 4.5. This one is a 4.2 at a depth of 133, so that's a little stronger at the surface. Here's your 4.7 at a depth of 182. Okay, so your 5 to mid 4 range earthquake energy is still traveling along this branch right here. It has also come up through this area. Boom, we're going to hit a 4.8 right here at a depth of 40 off of the Mariana Islands. 4.9 here at Japan at a depth of 122. This is where we were having that little quake swarm before. It is a 4.6 with a depth of 129. Over on this branch, we have a 4.5 at a depth of 45, a 4.6 at a depth of 78, and up here a 4.3. Ooh, it even made it to the fulcrum point, a 4.9. And over here we have a 4.1. So here's that mid-range 4 to 5 energy just going all the way up through the branch, all the way up through the system. Okay, here we've had another quake at this big lake up here in Russia again. A 3.8. It's not a very big quake, but it's another one at this lake. There's a fault line running underneath that lake right there. Let's take a peek here. We got a 4.3 in Tajikistan. That's at a depth of 134, so a little deeper there. It's a little more at the surface. This is a 4.2 at a depth of 10. So some of this energy, this mid-range energy, crept up this side with this one right here, 4.2, made it around the bend, setting off stuff up here. Here's another quake at where all of our tectonic plates converge. Is this picking up the red lines that are coming down right here, going across, coming down right here? There's a plate here, and a plate here, and they all converge at this apex zone right here. And here we had that quake, 4.3, okay, right at this fracture zone area. It's kind of jumped this area, and it looks like we've had a 4.3 here in Greece. Over here in Africa, in Morocco's had a 4.3. Okay, and it even looks to have made it to the Atlantic Ridge and dumped off a 5.1. All right, so released energy all along the way, mid-4 range energy. Boom, 5.1 out the mid-Atlantic Ridge. A little activity going on here as always. Let's take a peek at the Cocos Plate here. We had a 4.6 in Nicaragua at a depth of 155. Is that on the shore or on the land? Oh, good, that's on the land. Right in that weak zone, just inside the shore. See this lake right in between this strip of land, right in between this what is it? Inland waterway. There's water underneath this still, and causes a weak zone in this area. And here you can see we've had a little 4.6 set off. This almost looks like a volcanic island. It sure is. We have a volcanic island that has grown inside. This is not a lake, this is a crater. Let me back out a little bit. That's a caldera right there. Looks to be with two little volcano tips poking up through it with our earthquake right next to it. So this might be coming to life down below the surface, down 155 kilometers down below here. Is this isn't a surface quake, so it's not the weak area right here. This is down below this. This is on the flank of this old volcano. They look like stumps, yeah, but as we zoom in on them, you can see this one. It was active. It had a nice little, let me get this out of here. It had a nice little lava flow down this way. Well, thank you for the thank yous, I guess. Trying hard to bring as much of this as I can to you. I got a lot going on, and whenever I get a chance, I like to try to bring this stuff to you. I like this little connecting volcanic island too. This island they have connected. These are two little volcanoes on top of each other. Yeah, there's all clouds in that one, but all right. So that's inside, right next to this volcano or this earthquake. All right, so let's back out of there. I want to take a peek at this one real quick. There's a 4.1. Is that on the water? Yeah, it is. All right. So let's zoom back out, in and out, in and out, back and forth. Few here in the west coast. You guys want to see these real quick? Let's just do it. Little ones. It's 2.6. Yeah, these are all just little mouse farts. All right, nothing really to see there. We cover everybody. A little bit down here in South America to Fulcrum Point. But that's about it for the earthquake report. Let's come over here to null school real quick. All right. I have it set up on the SO2 and get to pull back up. I just basically want to do a report on America real quick. We know China and the rest of the world's having their issues. Here's our country. You can see this storm front moving through right here is kind of taking the gas and mixed in with the storm and directs which direction it goes and stuff too. So this gas blows along in the wind currents along with the storms. But you can see still divided right down the middle of the country. This half still bleeding out. This half still kind of just a little spotty activity. Some of the fires I want to show you real quick down here in South America. Let's change this over to space. There we go. You can see these fires here in South America are still flaring up. Every time one of these objects comes by and CME hits us or whatever, we absorb energy. The energy makes the core heat up. It makes the shell heat up. It makes the magma heat up as well and expand and push up against the underside of the crust. That magma is trying to get out from underneath the crust. There's so much pressure built up underneath the crust that it's trying to come out in any perforations or any kind of cracks or flaws in the crust. All right, and it creates these hot spots and fires. A lot of these fires that we had this year were all, these ones up here in Canada, are all because of magma underneath. Not much going on up there. All right, something else different I want to do on this one this time. Let's come over to particulates. And this beautiful chemical called SO4. Okay? This is a sulfate. I call it sulfur quad oxide because it's got 4 oxygen molecules instead of 2. but it's still a sulfur compound. And let me get the winds out of here. All right, you see this big band of it going across America right here. Now, this form of sulfur is can be man-made or also come from the earth. All right, the SO2 is from the magma. This can also be man-made, but that doesn't matter for our purposes here, because first let's take a little look around and see. The white denotes the intensity, okay? Dark blue, light green is very light, okay? So the white denotes the intensity of this sulfur quad oxide, this sulfate compound, okay? And you can see it comes out of India, it comes out of China. They spew this stuff a lot in their pollution, okay? The thing about this chemical is SO4. See, it's not so concentrated around the southern hemisphere here. A little bit off of South Africa, but you can see a lot of it is mainly focused here on the northern hemisphere. Now, the thing about this compound, this SO4, is it likes to bond with water. And it makes a new compound called H2SO4, which is better known as sulfuric acid. What you're looking at is sulfuric acid in your skies, okay? Because there's water in the air, water vapor in your air. There's water all over the planet. And this compound likes to adhere to water and make sulfuric acid, okay? In the wrong combination with the right quantities, this can become explosive and crackle and snap and spark as well. So if we had the right mixture of SO4 with a storm that had a bunch of H2O in it, and the storm slammed into a big old bank of SO4, and they mixed properly, it could literally rain fire. Sulfur on fire in the sky, snapping, crackling, popping. So that's how it rains fire, folks. It's because of sulfuric acid, okay? I don't talk about this one too much. I usually show the other one a lot because this one's a little more disturbing. Okay, when you know what you're looking at. Right now it looks just like some pretty little white lines and clouds or whatever, but it's a very deadly chemical, especially mixed with water, and eventually it's gonna make everything sulfuric acid. The oceans will become acidic, the air will become acidic. Look at this. Just a sulfuric acid storm. Imagine something like that coming along, and not only are you getting hit by a hurricane, but you're getting hit by a hurricane of sulfuric acid. Or a very acidic storm, we'll say. Alright, enough of that. Actually, let's move on to the next instrument. Okay, over here at your weather report. For a lot of people, actually, this weather report is going to be kind of... I'll just do it anyway. You know what I need to do is this. There we go. For some reason. Okay, I need to reach the button. So, this is our current conditions right now. We had that storm in Texas now that is like dissipated. This whole thing is connected together. There's a little bit of severe thunderstorm activity south of Indiana here in the Ohio River Valley there, but it's dissipating. Then we go into the morning of the 30th. Now look how this storm has reached all the way back here. All this connects. It's got snow on top and rain all the way back through here. That's the morning of the 30th. There's noontime the 30th. There's the end of convection, so it looks to dissipate instead of intensify at convection. Then it's gone in the nighttime of the 30th. There's the morning of the 31st, noon, a little bit of snow up in here maybe. Uh, there's the end of convection. Nothing there. Nighttime of the 31st looks nice and clear for most of the country for trick-or-treating. That's the morning of the 1st, the noon. Now, during this time frame, we do have inbound energy coming in, but we're all clear, all right? So hopefully there's no storms there to intensify. Thus, we hopefully won't be getting any side effects from this latest wave of inbound energy. I can't say that for the rest of the world, though. The rest of the world will probably still suffer the side effects. I don't know, whatever storms they're enduring will probably intensify, but not us. So that's the end of convection the first. There's nighttime the first. You see we have this storm creeping in here. These are where our weather makers are going to be here for this weather report. So we got this storm come in. Morning of the second here. This is noon, 5 p.m. West Coast time. The nighttime, the next morning, November 3rd, noon, convection. So we just kind of have this little low that just kind of skirts the northern part of the of the country here. Goes up through there, moves on out as we have another low moving in here at noontime on the 4th. There's the end of convection on the 4th. Now they're showing some severe weather here on the coast. Let me just angle it like that a little better. There we go. At the end of convection here on the 4th, they're calling for some severe weather there, so watch the coastlines there. That'll be nighttime the 4th. There's the morning of the 5th, noon, convection the 5th. Okay, so anything after this is kind of things are too volatile and too easy to change to kind of go anything past the 3 days that we know of activity off the sun. Okay, these objects, as they pass by too, their magnetic fields interact with ours, causing vortices and vortexes. That's why we get these spin up little hurricanes that go from a tropical depression to a category 5 in 16 hours. No, that's the approach of one of these objects and it passing by. You know, it intensifies the weather. It also causes the vortexes to spin. Anyways, let's just keep going here. So there's this event, but they're calling for this on the 7th. And then it wraps up and kind of moves off the coast here on the 8th. Alright, so then we have some clearing. Another change, but just a moment and see what they're saying. So starting at about 10 p.m., or no, this will be about 1 a.m., November 11th right there. Okay, so there's the morning of the 11th as this thing kind of comes up and approaches North Carolina here. Intensifies over the noontime. At the end of convection right there, it just slams the coast right there. That's the nighttime of the 11th. Morning of the 12th. The noontime of the 12th. The end of convection the 12th. The morning of the... no, that's the nighttime of the 12th. Now look here, at the nighttime of the 12th, it's coming up in here into Long Island, New York, up into this whole area at nighttime. All right, that's what this is predicting, and this is all subject to change. But if this happens this way, it could catch these guys off guard. This is a pretty gnarly looking storm. At nighttime, that's the morning hours of the 13th. So let's back up 3 frames, 1 or 2 right here. So these 3 frames from the morning of the 12th right here through the noon of the 12th, the night of, or the end of convection on the 12th. Oh, wait, my bad. Back up. One more right there. Okay, so this is the morning right there. There's the morning of the 12th. We'll run all of the 12th. So there's the morning, the noontime, convection, nighttime. We go into the 13th, the morning of the 13th, noontime, the end of convection, and the night. So look at how big that thing got and wrapped up to be this big old storm that came from way down here. Pretty crazy. All right, so let's run that loop one more time, let you guys kind of see that. So just the last tail end of that event, we're pretty clear for a few days. The northwest gets hit up here a little bit, one or two times here, but the rest of the country stays pretty dry. A little bit of snow skirting the northern states. And then until we have this, whatever this becomes a hurricane or whatever this thing becomes here, and then comes up here. Is that just my internet, or are they messing with his stream? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Dude, just kind of reading some of the comments you guys left here real quick while we're watching that. Ooh, all right. Thank you so much for keeping. Thank you. Yes. There are underwater volcanoes going on, and I believe your story there, Tammy, about your father telling you about underwater volcanoes. And that's the problem. We got so many surface volcanoes that are going off. Imagine how much are going off under the water. All right, so there's your weather report. And now for the spiritual report and our gem for the night. And the Lord led me to this silly little movie. And I was watching this silly little movie, and I know why he's got me watching it, because there's something in it that he wants me to see, right? So I'm watching the silly little movie until I found what he wanted me to see. So we're going to go ahead and just risk my channel's copyright strike, because this is for educational purposes, all right? I'm using this for educational purposes. Not making money off of it, not monetized. What he has to say here is pretty profound, and I know the Lord wants you to hear it. Oh, let me get volume, everything set up here. Okay, let's try to get this right. Please, let it work.
Son, it may seem to you like you have the drop on me, but I can assure you it only seems that way. Don't forget I do this for a living. So I can guarantee you this. First, I will disarm you, and then I will shoot you dead. You don't want that now, do you? Do you? You want respect, Dwight? You got to earn it. There's your chance. That sound? That's our challenge. That's the good Lord throwing down his gauntlet. Sound? That's our challenge. That's the good Lord throwing down his gauntlet. That sound? That's our challenge. That's the good Lord throwing down his gauntlet, asking us who we are and what we're made of. The Lord throwing down his gauntlet, asking us who we are and what we're made of. He wants to know what we're capable of doing in the face of adversity. He wants to know what we're capable of doing in the face of adversity. Whether we'll stay together or whether we just fall apart. We're capable of doing in the face of adversity. Whether we'll stay together or whether we just fall apart. Now, all of us could be dead here in a split second. But before we go, each of us have to answer the call. What's your answer, Dwight? How can I help? You made the right choice.
Okay, moving on. Let's get rid of this. We've detected in your stream. Ah, good. Anyways, let's open up another one and get to business here. Sorry, I didn't have this open before because my computer can only handle so much instruments, and it won't work if we have too much going. So let me just go ahead and pull up my channel here and get this pulled up. So what do you guys think about the face there coming off the sun? That's not the first time we've seen that stuff. I showed you the spiritual realm and the etherical, and I showed you the spiritual realm and the etherical. Oh, come on, another ad. And I've also shown you the spiritual realm and the clouds. And now it's coming off the sun. Alright, here, we'll just leave that real quick here. Let's put it right here. Where is it? Where's the big part? There we go. Alright. Leave it right there for a second. Alrighty, let me see if I can find some of my reading material here. Whoops. Let's go this side. Alright, I picked out one for you guys tonight. Okay. Now let me just get a sip to drink here real quick while you're looking at that. Alright. I am training you in steadiness. Too many things interrupt your awareness of me. I know that you live in a world of sight and sound, but you must not be a slave to those stimuli. Awareness of me can continue in all circumstances, no matter what happens. This is the steadiness I desire for you. Don't let unexpected events throw you off course. Rather, respond calmly and confidently, remembering that I am with you. As soon as something grabs your attention, talk with me about it. Thus, I share your joys and your problems. I help you cope with whatever is before you. This is how I live in you and work through you. What was the other one? Okay, keep your eyes on me, not only for direction, but also for empowerment. I never lead you to do something without equipping you for the task at first. That is why it's so important to seek my will in everything you do. There are many burned out Christians who think more is always better, who deem it unspiritual to say no. In order to know my will, you must spend time with me, enjoying my presence. This is not an erroneous task, but a delightful privilege. I will show you the path of life. In my presence is fullness of joy, and at my right hand there are pleasures forevermore. And the other one I had, guys. Okay. Welcome problems as perspective lifters. My children tend to sleepwalk through their days until they bump into an obstacle that stymies them. If you encounter a problem with no immediate solution, your response to that situation will take you either up or down. You can lash out at the difficulty, resenting it, and feeling sorry for yourself. This will take you down into a pit of self-pity. Alternatively, the problem can be a ladder, enabling you to climb up and see your life from my perspective, viewed from above. The obstacles that frustrate you is only a light and momentary trouble. Once your perspective has been heightened, you can look away from the problem altogether and turn towards me and see the light of my presence shining upon you. Okay? So we got looks like this guy's face coming off the sun there, and all kinds of weather activity going on and stuff. So you guys stay strong, keep praying. This is your foundation right here. Okay, hold on to it dearly. Don't get suckered into the division that's going on in our society right now. I got a lot of people that hate me, and I know why. Now I know why they want to hate me. Because hate is all the world has even seen lately. Think about that. Those are words to a song, and it's just so true. Now I know why you want to hate me. Because hate is all the world has ever seen lately. Well, we're going to beat that with love and truth. Okay? So you guys keep praying and pray for each other. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, I'll be back. I am back, can't you tell?